Next News, breaking news.
America is going back to the moon, and this time we're building a permanent base there. NASA Administrator Jared Isaacman just dropped a bombshell announcement that the Trump administration is completely rejecting the pathetic 3-year launch schedule of the failed Biden regime. Instead, we're returning to the glory days of Apollo, when American rockets launched every few months. But here's what the mainstream media won't tell you. This isn't just about exploration. This is about American dominance in the ultimate high ground. And while Iran fires missiles in the Middle East, our space assets are giving our military an edge that they never saw coming. And I'm going to tell you exactly why this matters to you and your family. For decades, America led the world in space exploration. We put men on the moon while the Soviet Union watched in disbelief. But then something happened. The bureaucrats took over. The woke agenda infiltrated NASA. And suddenly the nation that conquered space couldn't even launch a rocket without begging Russia for a ride. Under the previous administration, we were looking at moon launches every 3 years. 3 years, that's not a space program, that's a space vacation. Meanwhile, China is racing to establish lunar dominance. They want the resources. They want the military advantage. They want to look down on America from the ultimate high ground. President Trump saw this threat in his first term when he created Space Force and the Artemis program. Now, with the One Big Beautiful Bill funding our space ambitions, America is back in the space race, and we're not just competing, we're winning. This is not about national survival. And speaking of national survival, there is a developing story out of Washington that connects directly to what we're discussing right now. We've been tracking news the legacy media doesn't want you to see. As Iran destabilizes the Middle East and our space assets track every missile they launch, the federal government just made a move that could reshape America's security posture for generations. And here's the truth our enemies don't want you to understand. Our nuclear subs, warheads, next-gen power grid, aircraft carrier, these very systems that keep our military dominant, they all depend on uranium. And we import almost every single pound of it from foreign nations. See, it's not about energy independence, it's about survival, because a nation that can't power its own military doesn't have a military for long. And that's why patriots are looking at atomic minerals trading as ATMMF in the US and ATOM in Canada. This is about securing the resources that keep America safe and strong for generations to come. So make sure you check out the full briefing that's been prepared exclusively for you as a Next News viewer. Link below this video. Now let's get back to the historic announcement from NASA and what it means for American dominance. Yes, this is what Administrator Isaacman revealed that should have every patriot cheering. Starting in 2027, that's just around the corner, NASA will begin landing robotic vehicles on the moon almost monthly. And what are they going to do? Construct a lunar base. You'll be able to watch it happen in real time as America builds a permanent presence on another world. And this is not some pie-in-the-sky dream. Isaacman reminded everyone that we've kept astronauts alive on the International Space Station for over 25 years straight. We know how to do this. So let's see what the experts are saying. NASA Administrator Jared Isaacman. We haven't forgotten the days of Mercury, Gemini, and Apollo, where the average launch was every 3 months. We're not going to follow the previous administration and launch every 3 years. President Trump and Congress gave us the means to do this in the One Big Beautiful Bill.
Trump called for the return to the moon during his first term when he created the Artemis program. NASA expertise, our engineers, our astronauts, our leadership understand that you don't just go from a flight around the moon to landing on the moon. We didn't forget our history books. We know that we had Mercury, we had Gemini, we had Apollo, we had the space shuttle, and you know what? We were launching those rockets on average every 3 months. The time that Apollo 7 splashed down before we launched Apollo 8 around the moon, you're talking about 2 months, right? We don't know what I don't want to speculate on prior administrations and what they're thinking, but you do not launch a moon rocket every 3 years. So President Trump gave us a national space policy. He aligned whole of government around how we're going to achieve it. Congress gave us the resources. President Trump's One Big Beautiful Bill gave us the plus up in human exploration to do what needs to be done, which is not launching moon rockets every 3 years, not making giant leaps from around the moon to landing on it, but to do it in an evolutionary way. This is how NASA changed the world in the 1960s. President Trump is giving us the means to change the world again.
Let's go, baby. We're going back. Changing the world again. So, this does get to the question of what is a lunar base? What is that? Well, let's see what Isaacman has to say here.
When does NASA break ground on a lunar base?
We're going to start immediately. That's exciting because we can do this with uncrewed robotic vehicles and landers, and we're going to start in 2027. And I think the public is going to be able to tune in and almost watch us build this base in real time as we start landing on the moon. This is uncrewed, almost on a monthly cadence.
How will NASA ensure reliability and sustainability of resources for a continuing presence on the moon?
Well, we're going to draw upon what we've learned over the last quarter of century. So a lot of people don't realize this, but we have kept our astronauts, NASA astronauts, alive on the space station for more than a quarter of a century continuously. It's probably one of the greatest accomplishments. I mean, certainly Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin walking on the moon, coming safely back home to Earth, that was achieving the near impossible. Keeping human beings alive in low Earth orbit, microgravity, high radiation environments, micrometeoroids, orbital debris, the vacuum of space out around them, that is extremely difficult. And we've done that for 25 plus years. Now we're going to take everything we've learned, we're going to bring it to the lunar surface, which actually is the right next step. Because we've learned how to operate in microgravity. It's a great orbiting national laboratory, but what do we do when we get on the surface? That's when we can actually build habitats. We can start doing in situ resource manufacturing, these are capabilities that are going to be necessary when we eventually send American astronauts to Mars and bring them back safely.
Let's go, man. Let's build a frickin' moon base. Isaacman says U.S. will begin building a lunar base in 2027. We're going to start immediately. We can do it with uncrewed robotic vehicles and landers in 2027. Is this the first time that we've seen Trump's new NASA administrator?
About space being a major national security issue and we need to protect it. Give us your take on specifically how space is involved in this particular fight and the battle on Iran.
Absolutely. And space is the ultimate high ground, right? President Trump certainly knows this. It's why he created the Space Force during his first term. It's why he created the Artemis program, which is kind of on the peaceful civil side of space, which is my responsibility at NASA. And that's America's moon rocket behind us right now. But you're absolutely spot on. The assets we have in space, the satellites that are there for observation, for communication. I mean, these are the capabilities that are identifying the rocket launches, that are communicating to our forces and give America an extreme edge in this conflict.
Yeah, and, that's why we worry.
We do have the edge. We do have the upper hand. We do have the high ground. We have the assets in space that give America an extreme edge.
Space is the ultimate high ground, right?
Yeah.
President Trump certainly knows this. It's why he created the Space Force during his first term. It's why he created the Artemis program, which is kind of on the peaceful civil side of space, which is my responsibility at NASA. And that's America's moon rocket behind us right now. But you're absolutely spot on. The assets we have in space, the satellites that are there for observation, for communication, I mean, these are the capabilities that are identifying the rocket launches, that are communicating to our forces and give America an extreme edge in this conflict.
Rapid response. We have the extreme edge in Operation Epic Fury. And here is the truth that the establishment doesn't want you to understand. President Trump created Space Force during his first term because he saw what's coming. Space is the ultimate high ground, and whoever controls it controls the future. Right now, as Operation Epic Fury demonstrates American military might against Iranian aggression, our satellites are tracking every rocket launch, communicating with our forces, and providing the surveillance that gives America an extreme edge. No, it's not a coincidence. This is called vision. This is leadership. The same president who secured our position in orbit is now funding the return to the moon, while the previous administration was content to let America fade into irrelevance. President Trump, he's ensuring we dominate space for the next century. So what you have just witnessed today is nothing less than the restoration of American greatness in the final frontier. President Trump and his NASA administrator are rejecting the managed decline of the previous administration and returning to the bold, ambitious spirit that put American boots on the moon in the first place. Every few months, not every few years, a permanent lunar base by the end of the decade and space capabilities that give our warriors the edge they need to protect freedom around the world. Now, and I want you to know, I want to know what you think. Do you believe America will establish a permanent moon base before China? Drop a yes or no in the comments, and don't forget to share this video with every patriot who needs to see what the media won't cover. And speaking of what the media won't cover, what notifications you don't receive, what the algorithm won't show you, since you made it this far into the video, congratulations. Here's a free gift from me to you. Text raw feed 844-840-4963. That's the number you see on the screen. I built this just for you. Because I heard your cries, I saw your comments. I don't get the notifications. I never see you anymore. Well, guess what? Now you can. I will send messages directly from my studio to your phone. You'll get the news that you want. Because, hey, you're at the end of the video. What does that mean? That means you care. And since you care, I want to make sure you are informed. And if you want to support our work, you can head over to the Next News merch shelf just below this video. Pick out something you like and support our work. As always, stay informed. I'm Gary Franchi, and stay free.
The system controls information. Information control is power.
They don't want you to see this.
The truth only survives together. They don't want this. Share this now.